Hi, this is Phil and Trish from SkiTalk.com, and we're going to be talking about the 2023 Völkl Deacon 84. Now, Trish, you've spent time on earlier incarnations of this collection going back to the early 2000s, which I believe started with like the 724, then went to the AC series, and all the way through.
I started, one of my first shape skis I ever owned was a Volkl G3, Vertigo G3.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
It was a gold top sheet, and boy, I thought that was just a ripping ski because it was my first shape ski, and it was a great experience for me.
And then it was a ripping ski.
For sure. In fact, my niece still has that ski.
Yep. But coming through the years again, that what we call as an all-mountain collection really has evolved into being from in that low to mid 70 millimeter range. Now it's in that mid 80 millimeter range. And the Deacon series for Völkl is also expanded from being these all-mountain skis to have some front-side biased ones in the Deacon Pros. And that series, as far as that Deacon name expanding. But every incarnation of this ski, and Völkl has done a lot of different directions of this ski. They went from fully cambered, they went to I-beam stiff in something like the AC50.
Right, I remember that.
Yep. Then they swung the pendulum completely the other way with the zero camber RTMs. And then they brought camber back. We've got our 3D construction now on this. So as far as the directions they've gone, I think really they're onto the right track here with a lot of different things. And let's start with the 3D radius.
The 3D radius is really interesting to me because it emphasizes how much you give to the ski and where that turn initiation is going to come around.
Correct.
So you have the 3 dimensions, which on this particular ski is 24, 15, and 21. So basically you have a little bit wider of a radius when you get onto the tip, and if you really don't get on top of it too much, it'll stay in that long radius. But if you stay on top of it, it's going to come around a little quicker, and it's going to take advantage of that 15 in the center.
Right.
So it's kind of an interesting concept, but we're seeing that now being adapted a little bit more in some other technologies in the industry as well, and it's definitely something that's taking off.
Yeah.
I don't have a ton of experience on this particular Deacon, but I did ski a couple of the narrower versions when we were at Sun Valley this past year. And wow, when we had that groomer section over by Warm Springs Chair at Sun Valley, it was just an absolute ripping ski to be on. Yeah.
Now, in this range of a ski, the Deacon 84 has become one of the reference skis, and getting cage matches through the years, a lot of people ask, how does the ski compare to the Deacon 84? And in their collection, they've done a really good job with this, and we talk about that 3D radius and 3D side cut, but we also are looking at a construction on the ski, very thin profile, allowing that ski to be very reactive at the extremities, not a lot of swing weight on it, so it has some pop that some of the other skis in this range don't have.
That's one of the things that I would say was one of my takeaways on the Deacon line was just how much pop came out of the turn. It gave me some of that familiarity of the old Völkl responsiveness that I remember from when I had some of my earlier Völkl skis.
Yeah. And with that 3D radius that you referenced earlier, this ski in the 177 has that middle radius being 15, which for 177 is on the shorter side. If we just looked at that middle number compared to some other skis that are in this range, most of them are in that 16 to 17 range. But what that 3D radius does here, that 15, when you pressure that ski in the center, it reacts. But because of the longer radius in the forebody and the longer radius in the tail, it allows you actually to modulate that turn and create a bunch of different turn shapes.
That is one of the benefits to the 3D for sure. But yeah, like I said, it's kind of interesting because I have a really warm and fuzzy feeling about the Deacon lineup myself.
Yeah.
Based on what I always liked out of Völkl back when I first started skiing Völkl.
Yeah.
And yet it's more refined, it's contemporary. There's nothing about it that says old school, but it gives some of the old school feel back to the the contemporary ski.
It's the ski for somebody who's looking for the most vocalness in a ski in a Völkl.
Exactly. Perfect way to say it. Yeah.
So who's the Deacon 84 for? So it's for that person that is looking for that wide, narrow ski. They want that tenaciousness grip on the groomers, but when the trails get skied out and the snow gets mixed conditions, it's still going to perform really well. Who's it not for? That person's going to venture a little more off-piste and maybe 65%, 70%, 60%, whatever, more than a half off-piste. Then take a look at the Kendo 88. Or for the person that even wants something that little more of that front side bias, they do have the narrower version of the Deacon in the 80, and they also have the Deacon Pros if you really want to get down into the 70s. So you got a ton of different options for you. But in the end, with any of these Völkls, and well, first of all, I want to thank is the Ski Pro in Reno for supplying us with some skis here for this. Thank you guys. But in the end, skiing is fun.
To read the full review of this ski, please go to SkiTalk.com and click on the Reviews tab.
Please also hit the like button and subscribe to see future ski reviews along with other ski-related content. And also, please add any thoughts to the comments section below.
And of course, follow SkiTalk.com on all social media channels.
And remember, no matter how still you are, bend stiller.